What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So it seems Nigel Farage has pointed out one of the ways that Boris Johnson could get around the Benn Act or Surrender Bill using the EU's own laws, as we have discussed previously on this channel. There's an article in the Express about it and also an accompanying video where Nigel Farage is talking to an Express reporter. So we'll play the video and then we'll go over the article.
Because European law is superior to British law, so Article 50 in a European treaty does have supremacy over the Benn Act, as it now is. But that's if Boris Johnson wanted to go along at the end of October, or middle of October, and take us out with a no deal. I just don't think he's going to do that. I hope I'm wrong. I'd be delighted, but I don't see it.
Does the UK need a general election?
Yes, badly. Zombie parliament doesn't work. Government can't get anything done. It's just like a bunch of school children bickering, scheming, trying to extend and extend and extend. And for a parliament to have passed a bill that stops us leaving effectively at the end of October and to deny us a general election is why people in this country are so sick to death of politicians. And a general election might just sort this out. Keep the faith. Yes, I know. Politicians are behaving appallingly, talking down to you, saying you're all a bunch of ignorant peasants. Don't worry, the genie's out of the bottle. There are still people out there like me that are on your side, and we are, whatever battles we face, going to win.
So there you see it. The video is actually a bit longer than that, but I just took the relevant part to what we're talking about here because he discusses a few things, including Juncker and the rest of it, which you can find on the Express's website and possibly on their YouTube channel. Anyway, the article headlines Nigel Farage tells Boris Johnson to use EU's own law to crush Remainer bid to block Brexit. Nigel Farage has revealed Boris Johnson could use the EU's own law to crush the Remainer plot to block Brexit and take Britain out of the EU without a deal. It actually says out of the Brussels, but I know that he means out of the EU. Oh, she, Rebecca Perrin. Rebecca Perrin, you need to do a bit of proofreading on your articles after you've finished in future, love. The Brexit Party leader made the claim about Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Brexit negotiating tactics to express.co.uk ahead of his party conference on Friday night in central London. Nigel Farage said he agreed with Sir John Major that Mr Johnson could circumvent the Benn Act, which requires him to seek a further Brexit delay if he cannot get a new deal with the EU, because European law is superior to British law. It fucking shouldn't be, but if it helps us in this situation, we'll take it. Mr Farage told express.co.uk it's possible because European law is superior to British law, so Article 50 in a European treaty does have supremacy over the Benn Act as it is now, which is something we all knew. A few of us have spoke about it, I've had comments and I've discussed it before where I thought the EU law would supersede the Benn Act and Article 50 specifically. This means Mr Johnson could argue the fact EU law into which the Article 50 deadline is written trumps British law in which the Benn Act stands. This could see the UK exit the EU without a deal on October the 31st if the government can successfully argue the Article 50 deadline must be respected over the demands of the opposition MPs to extend negotiations until January, which, if European law is superior, no court in the land can argue against that. Because if they do then argue that UK law is superior to EU law, it would open a whole can of worms with plenty of laws that have taken precedent over the years when they shouldn't have, if that's what they want to do. But Mr Farage said he was not convinced Mr Johnson was prepared to take the nation out of the EU without a Brexit deal. He said, but that's if Boris wanted to go along and take us out of the EU with no deal. But I just don't think he's going to do that. I hope I'm wrong, I would be delighted, but I just don't see it. When quizzed over whether he would publicly support Mr Johnson in the event of a no-confidence vote, Mr Farage said he believes the Tory leader has taken the wrong turn. He said, providing he wants to deliver Brexit, yes, but I've got slight concern. I think Boris may have taken a wrong turn. He appears now to want to reheat Mrs May's deal, and I mean the most awful sellout and surrender, and I want him to drop that as quickly as possible. Let's have a clean break Brexit, it's what the public wants. Mr Farage, you are spot on. The public does want a clean break Brexit, they just want it done. Even ones that would prefer a deal. Now they would just probably take a clean break Brexit just to get the fuck out and get all this shit over with. It's getting boring to most people. His remarks come after former Tory leader, Remainer Sir John Major warned that the Prime Minister could sidestep the Benn Act, the recent Remainer legislation aimed at blocking a no-deal exit, to force Brexit through at the end of October. Let's hope for once Sir John Major is right and Boris can do that. He said, "My fear is that the government will seek to bypass statute law by passing an order of council to suspend the Act until October the 31st. I don't think he will even need to do that, but it is another possible way he will do it. I think there's other ways he can get round it. It is important to note that an order of council can be passed by privy councillors, that is, the government ministers, without involving the Queen, which will really piss off the Remoaners. They will probably try and take that to court if he goes down that route. So if he's going to do that, he's going to leave that until the very last moment. I should warn the Prime Minister that if this route is taken, it will be a flagrant defiance of Parliament and utterly disrespectful to the Supreme Court. It would be a piece of political chicanery that no one should ever forgive or forget. What about you? No one should ever forgive or forget the things you fucking did, you scumbag." But a spokesman for Mr Johnson insisted the plan to circumvent the Act was not something we recognise, which seems a bit of a strange statement, but yeah, we'll go with it. He said, "I am sure that the fact these comments was going to be made was a surprise to everyone because it's simply not something we recognise. We will comply with the law, but we are leaving on October the 31st. So there you have it. Nigel Farage has pointed out one of the possible ways that Boris Johnson can take us out of the EU without a deal, by using their own laws against them and these Remainer MPs, which would put them right up shit creek. But it would be something he would need to do as late as possible so that they can't put anything against him like they did with the Benn bill. Who knows what they could do on the EU side of things, but as to what's being investigated by Number 10 now as possible collusion between these Remoaner MPs on the Surrender Act and the EU, anything is possible. So yeah, he would have to wait until the very end, in my opinion. Well, I'm going to end the video there, guys. I want to thank the channel's PayPal, Patreon and Subscribe Star members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. Parliament is a disgrace, but they're too cowardly to give it away. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.